Jess,
Chad.
you remember last episode when I asked you how you thought Jason Biggs was doing?
I do.
Well, I got a response from the man himself.
Oh my
He
goodness.
sent me an email.
How's he doing?
All right, let's see here. Let me pull this up real quick. Yeah, here we
I was
go.
really concerned, so.
He said, and I quote, "Keep my name out your fucking mouth." So I guess he's doing okay.
That's the big
He's alive. We know he's alive.
That's good.
Yeah, that's very good.
That's very good.
Thanks, Jason. We appreciate it.
Thanks for listening.
Welcome to our show about pop culture stuff. We keep watching and connected, but it's never enough. Talking with our friends about our favorite things, TV shows and movies and some random swearing. Hey! 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 This is the pretty, this is the little, this is the pretty little podcast.
Hello, all you pretty little people. This is the Pretty Little Podcast. I'm your host, Deadbeat Chad. With me is just Jess.
Hello.
What are we talking about today, Jess?
One of your favorite things.
Yes, absolutely.
That'll be Ghost in the Shell. But just a couple of parts of Ghost in the Shell. The thing that you know, and then the live action.
So today we're going to be focusing on the 1995 animated film
Mm-hmm.
and then the live action counterpart, which is loosely inspired by this too.
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, go
Ghost in the Shell is a 1995 Japanese animated tech noir cyberpunk action thriller film directed by Mamoru Oishi from a screenplay by Kazunori Ito based on the 1989 manga by Masamune Shiro.
So
It's a classic
what was
anime
your
movie.
first experience with this?
When you showed it to me.
Like 20 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then earlier this week, I have no connection to Ghost in the Shell. It's one of those things that if you're even tangentially connected to the anime community in any way, obviously you know Ghost in the Shell. I know what it is. I know
Right.
she's like a cyborgy robot thing that has to take off her clothes to become invisible, and I have opinions about that. But and that it's kind of cyberpunky and whatever. But I didn't watch it when I was super young. Yeah, no, you were the first person to show me.
Right. And to this day, I still have the original DVD.
Mhm.
That's the first copy of Ghost in the Shell on DVD I ever bought.
Oh my goodness.
I had the VHS release when I was a kid.
Mhm.
The first place I would have heard about this would have been obviously Wizard magazine. That's where I got a lot of my information from as a kid. But
just about life in general.
well, just anything in the realm of pop culture, because they didn't do
Sure.
just comics. I mean, yeah, it was heavily focused on comics, but also there was movies, action figures, all kinds of shit were in.
I'll take your word for that.
Ghost in the Shell was, it was a manga that ran from 89 to 91. And obviously this film adaptation came out in 1995. So that would have been right when I was in the middle of my subscription to Wizard magazine.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my father's subscription to Wizard magazine. He just gave them to me after he read them. This is one of those things that flipping through there and just seeing, the still shots from the film. I knew this was going to be something unique just because it looked different than my grasp of anime at this time would have been things like I've mentioned on the podcast before, your Dragon Ball Z's, your Sailor Moons, things like that. And this didn't look like that. This was much darker. In fact, this adaptation in general is just darker than the source material anyway.
Oh, is it?
Because I did have, back in the 90s, Dark Horse Comics re-released, I guess, the manga in comic form. So I had the first two issues.
So it's backwards. It's the American way where it starts. Because manga is read backwards.
It reads
the
left to
opposite
right.
way. Yeah, okay.
They
the front
reformatted
page
it for
is-
American audiences,
okay.
for Western
All right.
audiences.
God, that would drive me crazy.
And it was edited, there was nudity was taken out, things like that. But
Did she lose her nipples?
yeah.
Womp womp.
But I only had the first two issues, and I got those after I had already seen the movie. So the contrast there is very noticeable because the manga itself is a little more lighthearted and silly.
Really?
And yes, and there is a new Amazon series that is more of an adaptation of the manga that just came out recently, about a month ago. And I have watched the first episode, and I can tell you, yes, it's markedly more silly than any other Ghost in the Shell things in media so far. But as much as I am a fan of this film, and I'll get into why, I have not seen the standalone Complex series. I know that's blasphemy for any Ghost in the Shell fan, because that's like considered to be like better than the 95 film and more concise. There's more story there. The animation is obviously better because it came out like 10 years later.
Look, we will get around to it, but this was about picking something. A lot of like this animation season is about picking things that are special to us. And this movie, this Ghost in the Shell, is special to you.
Right.
So, yeah, whatever.
For more ways than one. And then the first time I saw this, like, it went over my head. Like, conceptually, all of this went over my head. I was just too young to understand anything this movie was trying to do other than its visuals, which is what really got me hooked into this. And I mean, this is one of those that I just rewatched over and over and over, and until the story kind of sunk in, you know?
Yeah.
And not only is this an incredible story, but like this did a lot for animation in general moving forward, especially like Japanese animation.
Sure.
This was like a hallmark, just like Akira was. This was also one of those hallmarks in animation and like just the technical feats in animation.
Yeah, James Cameron described it as the first truly adult animation film to reach a level of literary and visual excellence.
Yeah.
For what that's worth.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. And I even saw a quote from like Roger Ebert. And he credited the film for what it did correct, which was everything. You know, the visuals, the story, and all that. But he did say that like the story itself is just not going to reach a common audience.
Right.
This is very high concept.
This is stinky. You got to pay attention and really think some
normies are not going to get into this. They're just not. Like your mom and dad don't give a fuck about this plot at
Although
all.
my mom would probably like this.
Maybe.
But yes, typically.
Because this was so influential, and you know, I'm not going to get into it, but like The Matrix was obviously very influenced by this
the
movie.
Wachowskis have definitely said how much it inspired them.
Any other countless media projects have been influenced so heavily by this movie that when you watch this now, this plot just doesn't seem all that unique, you know?
Right.
But at the time, and I can speak from experience being there when this was released, it was a big fucking deal. Just in the realm of not only animation, but science fiction in general. This was that mind-blowing moment of, oh my God, you know, because it's exploring concepts that are just like so unique to humanity.
Well, but then, and also technology, and then how the two mix, and what is consciousness, and what is, you know,
well, in this
sentience.
Movie,
what does it mean if they combine?
Not only was it, look, when this came out, it was so science fiction that it just was hard to even conceive that this kind of future would ever exist. And this movie has aged so well that we are now in a time where it's more relevant today than it was back then, because these things are actually here. AI is here and it's becoming more of a threat every day. We've got Elon Musk with Neuralink trying to hook us up into the fucking internet.
Don't even get me started because like this week you were talking about different announcements he made about what Neuralink is going to do. And then we watched Ghost in the Shell and I'm like, holy shit.
Yes, exactly. This film is more relevant today than it was back then. And it has aged so well. Not only just the concept, but the visuals of this still hold up, with the exception of because this is all done mainly traditional with some CGI, you know, gusto, if you will, some flair. And I really wish they hadn't done that. I really wish they had just stuck. A lot of like the
computer stuff,
right? Anytime
is
there's a computer screen or something going on with a computer screen,
there's a lot of like GPS and a strange amount of GPS in this.
Well, and they did that thing in the 90s too that I absolutely hate, where like anytime there was a 3D object, they didn't really know what to do with it, so it would just sit there and spin.
Yeah, there's a lot of spinning, like holographic kind of looking,
right?
Grid,
so they'd be looking at a computer screen about her brain scan, and it's just a 3D image of a brain spinning around. And you're like, what is this even conveying?
You're like, all sides of the brain.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Which, and in 2008, they did an updated version of this called Ghost in the Shell 2.0,
Yeah.
which they used more modern technology to update those CGI elements.
And new audio, it looks like, too.
Yeah, I really don't care for that version. That's the version that is, if you're a YouTube Premium member, it's on there.
Oh.
It's free to watch. I don't like that version. I prefer the original because if all the CGI is going to be in there anyway, I just want the charming 90s shit the way I remember it.
I will say the voice acting is very of the 90s as well. I genuinely can't figure out if, and no offense to you, voice actor for the Major, or just Major. I keep wanting to call him the Mate, but no, it's just Major. I can't tell if she's trying to do like a more robotic voice or she's just not that good at inflection.
Well, the thing is, like, yes, you're correct. The 90s had this type of voice acting.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't really matter because it suits
like
the character.
if I got on there and I was like, yes, hello, my name is Major and I'm a robot lady. It
suits her, but everyone else in this movie,
that's
not
what
really.
I mean. Like,
especially since like she is fully cybernetic.
Right.
The only humanity of her is her
brain.
thoughts, her memory, her brain. And it's only part of her brain
her ghost
that is actually still
or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So ghost just refers to your soul.
Like what makes you you. And so like the whole title, like the ghost in the shell, like that is, or just ghost in the shell. It's very, I like that. It's a really interesting way of thinking, even about fully flesh people. Like we all have a ghost.
The original title for this was something like Hypermind Shell Squad or something like that.
Okay, arguably far better.
It wasn't that exactly, but
that's
it was
some
on that.
Samurai Pizza Cat stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And they went with Ghost in the Shell, and I'm glad they did.
I love it.
Well, and it harkens back to Ghost in the Machine, right?
Right, yeah, sure.
But yeah, Shell just is referring to the fact that she is
her body isn't,
and her soul is trapped inside of a robot, and she's fully aware of everything going on, but she can't really progress outside of her body. It's almost like she's trapped in a prison,
right,
in her own body, and it's terrifying for a human.
It's my probably worst fear.
Right.
Is ending, and I'm telling you right now, and this is out to the podcast too, Chad. If anything happens to me and I'm in a vegetative state, let me go.
Yeah, like
do not leave me trapped in a body that I can't control.
It would absolutely be like being in a vegetative state and just being conscious,
being
the whole time.
super aware.
But
I don't want that.
To her credit, I think she does have control of her faculties.
I know.
She does have use of her arms and legs,
but she's still super limited,
right,
compared to what she could be.
Yep.
If free.
So yeah, I mean the plot of this, it's pretty simple, and then it gets complex as it moves along. We follow Major Motoko Kusanagi, who she's a cyborg, like I mentioned. She's an agent that works for Section 9. We'll get into all that too, but at this arc, this movie follows the arc in the manga with the Puppet Master. It's a very well-known arc in the thing. It's probably the most well-known, honestly. He's a AI creation. I say he just because he has a male voice in the film. So to me, it's a he. It's not really
it's more. He's just a voice. He's a concept. He's a
right. He doesn't have a physical form. It's an AI program that accidentally becomes sentient.
Right.
Learns about the Major and then wants to merge with her to create a new form of life, a higher intelligence, and the whole time he's able to manipulate different aspects of humans in this world because we're now living in a future world where people are getting cybernetic implants for anything. If they just want to see better, if they want to hear better, if they want to have better grip, anything. Like if they just like in the live action movie, one of them even mentions that he got like a liver enhancement just so he could drink more.
Yeah, sure.
So,
well, it's so common that,
it's now not necessity, it's excess.
Yeah.
And people are just getting cybernetic implants.
It's like how I got prescription sunglasses this time because I was like, yeah, you know what? I would like that. That'd be nice.
Exactly.
So it's the same.
So the Puppet Master, because most of humanity in the city is all cybernetic implanted out, he's able to hack into their minds and he can he can manipulate their memories and things like that to cause
It's a problem.
Yeah, to cause them to do acts of terrorism.
Neuralink can stay away from me.
So this movie focuses heavily on Section 9 and really, it really focuses on 3 people from Section 9. There are other members, but Major is the main character. She's who we follow through this whole thing. Batu, who is like her second in command, he's the muscle, right?
Right.
But he also is there to keep her grounded because he's mostly
also
cybernetic,
her
but
heart
he,
in a way though. Like
right.
I really like their relationship.
Despite all his cybernetic enhancements, he's still like far more human.
Yes.
And he keeps her grounded.
He genuinely cares about her. Not in like a romantic way, I don't think. It's just a partnership. Like, you know, like cop partners, detective partners.
I
and
appreciate
I really like
about
that.
this film too is that there's no sexual anything.
Well, there wouldn't be a point with her. Like, for all that they gave her nipples, and I still think that's ridiculous, because she's not a woman. She's got no downstairs parts.
Right.
You know, she's a Barbie doll.
Yes.
With nipples.
But for all we know, so is he. I don't know.
Well, I can't say I've thought about what he's got.
But they don't ever go into sexuality in this.
No.
And it's not even like, you know, when the puppet master wants to merge with Major, it's not even a sexual thing there or anything. So I do appreciate that they didn't go there with that.
It makes their relationship more pure. It's not complicated by unresolved feelings or whatever. No, they just support each other.
Right. But yes, Batu is her second in command. He's her muscle. He's her heart. He keeps her grounded. And he's also kind of like her wrangler in a way for Section 9 because they're well aware that she is a weapon. And if she just decided to go rogue, nothing would stop her.
Well, and she's the first of her kind. That's worth pointing out as well. Like she's the first one. So. And
a lot of time and effort and money and power are behind.
Yeah. But there are still unknowns
prototype.
Because there is still at least one human part to her, arguably the most important, her soul, her thoughts. So that can go off script real easy.
Also in this movie, we follow the chief director, Daisuke Aramaki, and who is, we'll get into him in the live action because we have things to say.
I'm so excited.
He's basically foreign affairs, right? He's very versed in everything that is foreign affairs. He has connections. He can get them certain information that they can't retrieve on their own.
Right.
He can make things disappear. He can make things, you know, if they fuck up, he can make that go away.
Yeah. He basically directs the Major and Batu, like what to do, where to go.
Yes.
Here's the deets and whatnot.
And Togusa, who is the only like fully human. Well, no, Daisuke is also fully human. The chief director, he doesn't have cybernetic implants or anything like that. But yeah, just like Togusa, he just rejects the idea of getting implants. Period. Even to the point where like technology in general, he prefers to use like an old revolver. Yeah. Instead of like all these futuristic
He's good
weapons.
with it too.
Things like that. He also looks like every first player from an 80s arcade game ever.
I love him. I like Aramaki. Like well, never mind. We'll get into it in the live action as to why I'm heavily biased in his favor.
We also have a member issue. And by the way, these members kind of don't really matter. We follow like 3 of them through this. This movie, it really is the Cliff Notes. And it's just one arc of the more, you know, bigger story in the manga.
Right.
Ishikawa, who is like information specialist, he just he stays connected to the internet 24 hours a day. He can block firewalls and things like that. Any outside sources that would come in to like disable any internet presence or recon that they have, he can keep that under wraps. He can also get information from the net and give them live updates.
He's the classic. Every 90s movie needs a hacker where he's like, I'm in.
Right. There is another character that is not used in this movie at all, but Paz or Pazu, I've seen both, who's just like a sniper. He's got the cybernetic enhancement eye that...
Is he briefly in the live action?
Yes.
Because there is a sniper at one moment that has like okay, cool.
So yeah, he has a cybernetic eye that helps him with his sniping
That makes
abilities,
sense.
things like that. So, basically each character on this team is specifically designed to be
To have a role.
just to be an army of like 6 people.
Right.
And they're very good at what they do. They're considered the best, obviously. I mean, this is a agency that goes above the government. This is like
The highest level.
right. This is something on a level that like you can't even conceive as far as intel and espionage and political connections and things like that, which they go more into in the manga than they do here, because the cold opening for this movie, which is arguably one of the fucking coolest openings of any film ever, when the foreign dignitaries coming in and they're basically setting up the fact that like we have 2 factions here. We have Section 9 and Section 6 that are at ends with each other, and both sides would prefer the other don't exist.
Right.
And this is where we get that bit of information, so we know that there's a feud going on there internally. But also this sets up Major as like a badass, basically, when she does the invisibility, it basically showcases her skills
Right.
as an assassin.
It's a hell of an introduction to a character.
Absolutely. And it's one of the coolest introductions ever. And especially like, when I was a kid, this was the first time that I had seen something that was on this level of maturity for a cartoon. And that scene where she shoots the foreign dignitary in the head and his head explodes, the bullet explodes in his head.
Yeah.
I had one of those VCRs where you could pause and go frame by frame. Let me tell you, like, if you could do that with the DVD or the Blu-ray now, do that. Like, every little bit of anatomy is represented
like skull
here.
fragment,
Every
brain
single
matter,
bit of it.
whatever.
This movie had a major budget for an animated film at the time. I believe it was like $10 million that the budget was on this, which was unheard of at the time. And
It's $3 million.
3?
Yeah, 330 million yen, $3 million budget. They made 10 million in the box office.
Okay, maybe that's what I was.
Yeah, but even still, 3 million for a single.
Sure, and I mean
animated
these days,
movie.
$3 million. That's like an episode of Attack on Titan. They put a lot of money in anime these days, but back then, especially for something that really was a gamble, especially releasing it in the West, because
Sure.
in Japan, these concepts existed in Japan for sure. Like the high concept science fiction, they were all on board with, adults watching cartoons and things like that. In the
Yeah.
West, my parents didn't give a shit about cartoons, no matter how adult they were, really. And what happened was it didn't really catch on in the East, and it blew up in the West. Like we absolutely 100% adapted.
Oh, really?
And loved and cherished this thing immediately. It was an immediate classic.
Huh.
And it, like I said, it went on to inspire the Wachowskis to create The Matrix. Like immediately they got on that shit. Visually, this is incredible to watch. Even to this day, there's nothing here that I can say was done wrong. There's nothing that you can't look at any aspect of this movie and go, oh, that's where they saved money.
Sure.
Except maybe in the computer effects.
I still think
but,
for 95, which means it was made in like 93, 94.
Right.
It's
So
like, no, it's fine. It just stands
for the
out to
time,
us.
that was still state of the art.
But I guarantee you,
and very expensive to do.
I totally understand you being absolutely blown away at the time.
This was also one of those films that, like I had mentioned, watching this, I didn't understand it. I just didn't. When I first watched this, I think I was like 15 years old or something. And it was that moment in my life I was definitely moving out of childhood, I guess you could say. And I was looking for more adult things to partake in, and like just, I don't know, leaving the childhood behind, the childish things behind, and trying to become a man and all that. And this was one of those movies that was just right there at the right time. I don't think I saw this until 1996. I watched it at a friend's house and then immediately went to Suncoast and bought a copy.
Yeah, it is mine now.
This is also one of those movies that if you're watching it today, and especially if you've never seen it, pay attention. You have to pay attention to this. Every word in this film is important. Every scene in this is important. Even if you think it's like something that is just said in passing, it's not. Like, they did not waste any dialogue in this telling you exactly what's going on. And for all that, like, the dialogue in this is that like 90s style of anime where they're just laying it out for you.
Right.
Characters that should already know this information.
A lot of exposition to each other. You're like, yes, hi. And here we are going to do our job that we do
we're
every day.
Section 9.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the guys that get our hands dirty.
Yeah, all right, Batu.
Yeah.
I wish you hadn't told me that YouTube comment you saw that there was, I guess, the husband was like, yeah, I showed my wife this movie and all she got out of it was some guy was named Butthole. no, that's all I can think of every time I think of it.
I've been doing some deep dives on this series in general, just on YouTube, just trying to like figure out what exactly is there out there now, because it's been so long. And like, I was aware of the PS1 game that came out in like 96, 97, something like that. I'm aware of that, but I didn't know there were like 6 video games. I knew that there was a standalone Complex series because I did watch like a couple of episodes back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And that was before I even met you, probably right around that same time that we met. But it was not anything, I didn't watch it consistently enough to understand it or anything like that. So I do need to go and watch that.
Yeah, there's 2 seasons, 52 episodes.
Yeah. There's a sequel to the 95 animated film as well. It's called Innocence. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen anything else, basically. I did watch the first episode of the new series.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. I think it...
Well, if it's supposed to be a more faithful adaptation of the manga, and the manga is so markedly different and sillier, it's gonna be an ask for someone like you who is so connected to that initial movie. And doesn't have a whole lot of connection to the manga.
Ghost in the Shell is just not silly.
Right.
It's to be taken seriously, and it is a higher form of this is art to me.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, to somebody who doesn't know a whole lot, they could probably take it either way. And even, so I am glad that they're doing a faithful adaptation, just so it exists, for those like more manga purists.
Not only that, but like there was another series that I liked as a kid called Appleseed. Which,
oh, sure.
The same mangaka did both Ghost in the Shell and Appleseed. The new Ghost in the Shell series definitely has that feel to it.
Ah, okay.
And so, if you're not familiar with Appleseed, there's also like Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z had very serious moments, but it was also silly as hell.
Sure.
And so it's that type of anime where it balances out the silliness and the seriousness very well. So after watching Ghost in the Shell this time, what is your major takeaway?
My major takeaway?
Yeah.
My major takeaway is she has no reason to have nipples. Because the whole thing is she's supposed to take her clothes off to activate her, like, invisibility shield or whatever. I'm not using the right terms, but it's fine. And that's ridiculous. Like, just
she has
be
dermal
honest.
Camouflage.
Sure, whatever it is, it's an invisibility shield.
Her skin, the cells in her skin can literally make her go invisible.
She either needed to be fully a woman with all of the parts, or she did not need to have nipples. That's ridiculous.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's...
You're a boy. It's ridiculous. I have no issues with her getting nude in order to activate her dermal camouflage. That makes sense. But from why did they bother carefully crafting?
Maybe it's an upgrade that she asked for so she could feel more human.
For what purpose?
To feel more human. I don't know. Who cares?
Exactly. I care because it's immediately distracting and weird because she's supposed to only be human in her ghost. And she's got no lady part.
Her nipples are far less like intrusive or obvious than the puppet masters.
Well, but that goes.
Those are highly detailed.
No.
They even have like different color and like.
My issue is none of them should have nipples. They're not.
I mean, I agree.
They should either be fully intact female or complete Barbie doll. Like, this weird halfway is very strange and it's distracting to me.
It's still an adult anime.
It doesn't make logical sense.
It doesn't have to.
Then they should have, why does she actually have a butt? Like, it's weird. Like, to a point, I understand because she has to be able to move and stuff like that.
Well, I mean,
it's immediately
I think the idea
distracting
is
and
that she
weird.
can still like. I mean,
No, okay, here, I'll put it this way.
Batu tries to give her a
If-
beer, so I assume that she can like break it down somehow.
Well, she got, I don't know how it's getting out there.
And if
Maybe
she's
she
supposed to
throws
be
it up
like an
later
advanced
on.
life form or advanced cyborg or whatever, why would they not like give her the ability to eat and process that?
I understand
Like,
that, but from
and
what
for
I can tell,
undercover purposes.
because you can see all the way up between her legs at more than one point. There's nothing there.
Right.
But they took the time, unless she's like, this is a terrible thing, unless that is the purpose of her nipples, and that's how stuff gets out. Unless she throws it up later or it all comes out her nipples, it ain't getting out. There's nothing there. So it's just so weird. Like if she was like a femme fatale kind or like a spy kind and was like there to try and manipulate and seduce men, the nipples would make sense. They would serve a purpose because maybe she would get to the point where she's not totally nude, but he could see.
Maybe she could just pull them out and connect to computers.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Or
they're like earbuds.
Yeah. I don't know. You've spent more time worried about this than I have.
It's my biggest concern.
It's fine.
No, it's not, because they fixed it in the live action. She has a suit. It makes sense. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
I think that the live action version of Major does make more sense.
Okay, and we'll talk about it in a minute.
I also see it as like she doesn't feel like a human anymore. She feels like a robot. So
Yes.
she goes, if you notice, she'll go through this entire thing. She doesn't have any problem taking off her clothes and just being nude around people.
Sure.
She doesn't care. She doesn't have that human like.
Not all humans have that either.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, you're very right. I've watched plenty of body cam videos, but yeah, it's not there. But if you notice, like Batu, every time that he shows up and if she's naked, he'll go and put his jacket around her and things like that. He'll cover her shame, and
it's not her shame. He's looking out for her because he cares.
Because he's more human than she is.
Yes,
they go out of their way to do that. Like throughout this entire movie, and one thing that I think that they did incredibly well is for her character in general is they wanted to give her this idea of being doll-like.
Right.
So her eyes are more glassy than everyone else's.
Her eyes are unsettling sometimes. It's
she's
very well
always
done.
looking straight ahead. She doesn't blink.
She doesn't blink.
And
there's no like little twitches.
Anytime that she needs to look at something, instead of like moving her eyes, she'll turn her head like a camera would do or something like. So and even when she's like she never like really emotes facially. Like her facial features don't really change.
But her eyes will widen, and it's unsettling. Like when. Like, for example, when the puppet master is talking like through her, and she's like kind of looking to the side because she's been like.
See, the puppet master completely. Does that. That's not Major.
I know. I'm just saying, like the way that they animated that, like and like not blinking and just talking, and it's like ugh.
They gave the same character two different personalities depending on whether or not the puppet master is inhabiting her or not.
Yeah,
but
it's well done and very unsettling. It's not human.
Yeah, so
that's good.
Again, the Puppet Master is just like a rogue AI program who became sentient. He's trying to merge with Major, while at the same time hacking into the brains of civilians and implanting memories that are false to make them to basically give them cyber psychosis for those.
Yeah, it's messed up, man. He invents, but implanted memories are kind of a hallmark of this franchise overall. But fake memories and the power that they still hold.
The reason why the Puppet Master is trapped inside this female form is because Section 9 has trapped him there.
Yeah.
They lured him into this cyber body. They trapped him there. They removed its legs and arms, so it can't really do much of anything.
It's a torso.
Yeah, basically a torso
nipples.
with a head and a brain. So yeah, that's where we're at in the story when we meet the Puppet Master. He's only a threat really to Section 9 through Major.
It's also a matter of what you perceive as a threat. I think it's because it's an unknown, and then they would probably lose control over Major, who is like their big weapon. But then it comes into like, if she is alive, if she's sentient and she's acknowledged as a life form, then shouldn't she have a say? Oh, well, but then she's also a weapon owned by Section 9. So it's like that's kind of the more high-level conversations you can have about this, is shouldn't she be given the information and the right to choose? Does she want to evolve with the puppet master?
Right.
You know, and so...
I absolutely love the fact that she does.
Yeah.
I love that.
No,
ending.
I think that's the correct choice because I think that's logical.
And it also gives Batu a lot more character too, because he kind of goes rogue and helps her. And he even goes as far as finding them a new body, a new shell, which is like a doll, a little girl.
But it still has Major's head.
Yeah, it's very strange. Well, it has her haircut.
And her face. The eyes are the same. Well, no, the eyes are different.
Her
but
head
it's the
is
same,
crushed.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, the face looks like her.
Yes,
like, you can tell
it
just
looks,
by looking that.
It just looks like a child version of her.
Right. In
when
a little,
they finally merged together.
Green dress. But yeah, I like that that's the way this story ended, rather than, like, shutting down the rogue AI and, like, no. This is a more interesting conclusion.
Yes. Yeah.
Because then it leads off into, okay, well, what does this mean? And I like that the film ends there with this new possibility and all these unknowns not explained.
Mm-hmm.
That's a perfect setup for like going into more in something else later on, or just never following up on it, you know? So I really do appreciate that they went that way, because I think a lot of specifically Western pieces of media would not have done that.
No.
This is a very Japanese
Western
ending.
media would have treated this very much like they did the live action film.
Well, okay. We can talk about that if you want. So Ghost in the Shell, the live action, is a 2017 cyberpunk action film directed by Rupert Sanders and written by Jamie Moss, William Wheeler, and Aaron Kruger. It's the first live action movie based on the Japanese Ghost in the Shell franchise, and stars Scarlett Johansson. Oh, Takeshi Kitano. Damn it.
Beat Takeshi.
Yeah, Takeshi Takano. Beat Takeshi himself. Michael Pitt and, other people. Juliette Binoche's in this. And yeah, it's set in the near future where the line between humans and robots is blurring. The story follows Major Mirakilian, a cyborg super soldier who investigates her past. I had never seen this.
Right. Well, I watched this when it was new.
Right.
I don't remember if
because I didn't really have a lot of connection to the franchise.
Well,
so.
I think when it came out is back when we had On Demand or something.
2017?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
I don't remember where I watched it. Maybe it was on Netflix or something.
Probably. I'm sure it was streaming somewhere.
Yeah, I did watch it when it was fairly new and immediately forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't watch it again until, 2 nights ago when we watched this. But I absolutely think that this is fine.
I like this movie.
I think this adaptation, well, it works in a way for your normie audience.
Sure.
This is the thing to recommend to people who don't want to have to pay so much attention.
Specifically Western audiences, this is a great... I think this was a really smart way to bring in some more westernized ideas of how story is told,
right?
But incorporating a lot of the elements from the original source material
with a twist,
yes,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that people who are anime adjacent that would then lead them to investigate. Let's really get into what. Okay, I see this is based on a manga. I really liked this. I want to learn more, and that brings other people into it. I do briefly want to point out the stupid, and I'm not going to touch on it for long, but the absolutely ridiculous controversy that rose up, of course, in the Western side of the world, because Scarlett Johansson was cast, and she's not Japanese.
Well, I mean,
did you know she's not Japanese?
I know. Neither was... We're not going to get it too far, but...
And America was the only one with any problem, and even
the Major's just a shell anyway.
Exactly,
it's not even her.
Oh, and it's acknowledged in this movie that her ghost was a Japanese person.
Right?
She was just put into a shell,
and it's fine. Look,
it's Scarlett again just people getting mad didn't watch the movie before bothering to get mad about it. I think Scarlett Johansson did a great job.
This is a movie for her.
Sure.
It fits exactly what her abilities as an actress
Run,
is.
jump, parkour.
When you cast her in something like this,
Robot
you're going to
face.
get a great performance.
Yeah.
If you're casting her in something like Shakespeare, then you have lost the plot. She's not that actress. She is this type of actress.
And she does a great job.
She is very deadpan the whole time.
Deadpan, movement based.
She's believable as an android.
Sure. Yeah.
She actually does have this like quality to her of somebody who feels trapped inside of.
She does minute facial expressions very well, which for a character like Major makes sense. This whole, because a lot of this story is different. It's a reimagining. There are a lot of connections to the original film, but there's a lot of differences too. But this whole war within her of, the glitches that she's seeing, can she trust those? Is that real? Is this actually a glitch? Who am I? What am I? That type of thing. Right. She does really well. She does excellent work like on close-ups of her face, and you can see things in her eyes that she's trying to process and figure out, but she's not overly emotional. She's not one to scream and cry and throw fits. That's not where she shines.
Right.
So something like this, I think, works really well.
And they do pay homage to the 95 film with certain camera shots and things like that.
Sequences
that are one for one remakes. But then they also do their own thing as well. I think it works incredibly, especially if you just like, if you like popcorn movies with excellent visuals, like you can't really beat
gore.
This.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's plenty of gore in this. There's plenty of concepts.
She has no
here
nipples.
That
by the way,
twist the original in a way that is unique.
Yeah.
That feels fresh to the series. I know this thing gets a lot of shit from fans of the anime and the manga simply because it was a live action adaptation.
But again,
after watching that fucking Cowboy Bebop bullshit on Netflix, I
refused to watch that.
This could have been way worse. And when this went to theaters, I refused to watch it.
Right.
I only watched it because it showed up on whatever streaming service we had.
And you were bored enough.
Like, yeah.
And you're like, fine.
I was like, okay, I could take a nap. And like I said, it didn't really impact me that first time I watched it, but the second time I watched it, I really did enjoy it. I think that, the entire plot is here. It's told in different order.
It is.
Which to me makes way better sense.
It's more streamlined again for Western audiences as well.
Yes. The way that they rearranged the plot from the original film in this makes far more sense for me.
Yeah.
It's more concise. It makes more sense. It's not told in a way like Memento where things are kind of out of order and you have to piece them together yourself. So because it's not that type of movie.
This is very logical progression.
Right. And they save the spider tank scene as like the big buildup, which makes a lot more sense too. Does. Instead of putting it in the middle of the fucking
random at the middle and then
Yeah. So I think that if you just want to get into this, if you don't even know what the hell Ghost in the Shell is, watch this. This will give you an idea of the plot, the synopsis, what you're looking for. Then go to the 95 movie, dive a little deeper into the series, the standalone complex series, things like that. You can go even deeper with the prequel series if you want. There's tons of shit out there.
Yeah, I definitely have some stuff I want to talk about on this live action though, because like first of all, when we were watching the credits, like at the beginning, and Takeshi Kitano came up and it said beat in parentheses at the front, and I was like, oh, no. Yeah, so
that's him.
It's the man, it's the boy, it's the man with the castle.
Yeah, he's like jack of all trades when it comes to entertainment. Like,
oh my God.
He's done it all. He's
a legend.
He's been an actor, he's been a director, he's a creator, he's a comedian, he's hosted a game show. Like in the East, he is kind of this like entity.
No, you guys can't see, but I have probably a very stupid look on my face right now. I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, it's Takeshi. There he is.
Right. He even created an NES game back in the days because he wanted to make a video game that is the most insane, batshit crazy thing you will ever see. But yeah, for me, like I will always know him from Takeshi's Castle, which is it's a Japanese game show.
Wonderful game show. It's so silly.
It's another, and that is all on Amazon too. Yeah. If you want to watch that, I highly recommend.
Oh my God, go watch Takeshi's Castle.
Just the insanity of these obstacle courses, and just it's hilarious, and just you can't. I don't even know how to do it justice.
Like if you're not, oh my God, please let there be one listener who is completely unfamiliar with Japanese game shows, because you are so welcome. Like you have so much joy ahead of you. Like we loved Ninja Warrior back in the day, Unbeatable Banzuke, Takeshi's Castle. Like there's a lot of them that are absolutely insane and impressive and hilarious, like all at the same time.
Well, and they did a westernized version of this called like The Most Extreme Challenge.
Yeah,
or something,
but that's like weird, like voiceover stuff.
Yeah, it's
not the same.
Don't watch that.
Yeah,
watch Takeshi's Castle. Watch the actual thing.
And I tried to tell him. So he plays Aramaki in the live action.
Yeah.
And every time someone would go after him, I was telling him, I was talking to the TV. I was like, dude, you can't beat Takeshi. Like it's not gonna happen. He ain't gonna go down.
Well, and he elevated this character too, because in the animated film, he's just kind of there. He gets some information and stuff, but like he actually gets shit done in the live
Absolutely.
action. He gets his hands dirty too, and gives him more of a reason to be there.
Mm-hmm. No,
Unfortunately, the rest of the people in this group, there's one scene where they're all together and they're just like, hey guys, we're here too, and then never again. And then at the end we do get like a shot from
Ponzu,
sniper,
you said?
Ponzu shooting down a helicopter.
Yeah, but at the same time, this story is more focused on Major and figuring out who and what she is and what was done to her. Sure, Batu obviously, does it. And I appreciate that we find out how he gets his eyes.
They give him an origin for his cybernetic eyes.
That's good. His eyes are unsettling to me. It makes me think of, the ancient custom of putting coins on their eyes to weight them down when they're dead, and that's paying the ferryman to, cross you over into the underworld. And that visual just creeps me out. But I think they do a good job. I don't understand why this is hated.
I don't know, but I can say one thing.
I liked it.
The developers of Cyberpunk 2077 definitely were watching this movie while they were coming up with ideas conceptually for everything.
Go
visually
into
in this
it,
game.
yeah, because I did want to talk about how awesome the city looks, but
Night
go
City
on to it.
is 1-to-1.
Because you loved
it
Cyberpunk.
Just has,
2077.
Yes,
like
full disclosure, Cyberpunk is one of my favorite games. Like it's,
and he will not. He does
sure.
not care, and you can come at him, and it doesn't matter.
No, but after watching this, it definitely feels.
You identified with the glitches, right? Like maybe that's why there were so many glitches that launched of the game because I watched this movie.
No, I did. There were glitches because they didn't finish the game before they released it.
I'm just being a butt.
No, I get it. But every single visual aspect from this film feels like it was just, oh, we're going to do that.
Like
here's Night City. Let's just give it a Swedish paint job. The paint looks different. The color of certain aspects of the city, but like all the shit in the game, like the brain dances or anytime they go into somebody's memories, it's the exact same thing as
it's like
when
a deep
Major
dive?
goes into the Puppet Master to figure out where he's at.
Oh.
All that shit where all the characters look heavily digital. They look like they're made up of like 3-dimensional pixels.
Oh.
And they just kind of like fall apart.
Yeah, sure.
All of that shit is in Cyberpunk.
My goodness.
Every single last bit. The way the cars look, the way the city is laid out, all the advertisements
car.
Everywhere, the way that the advertisements look, the digital hologram fish that are swimming through the city are all there. Every fucking aspect of this movie is in Cyberpunk. It is crazy. Anyways, I just wanted to point that out.
No, because like the city itself, like Cyberpunk is one of your favorite like looks and genres of things, just
because
overall
of Ghost in the
vaporwave, Cyberpunk, that type of stuff.
It has to come back to Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell, aside from like maybe Blade Runner, was like one of the first Cyberpunk things I had ever seen.
Well, and that is, because Blade Runner is very, very specific and groundbreaking in its own way, right? So you take those two things, and then you also have the Blade Runner. What's the Ryan Gosling one?
2049.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I know you would know. And
that's
you
one
take
of my favorite movies.
I know. I just can't remember what. Sorry. 2049, and then this Ghost in the Shell live action, like. The way, like you're talking about the advertisements, the super overblown but highly detailed, women spinning around doing things, like Joy in Blade Runner 2049, that type of thing. You have there's shots of Major when she's fighting, I can't remember the dude, that puddle, the puddle Dark Link kind of fight, where she's invisible. And you can see the whole city, and some of the advertisement, the 3D holographic projections are as tall as a skyscraper, and there's all this different sizes of things and colors and movement. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I will also say in Cyberpunk there is a bar called the Afterlife. It is a major hub in the game. It's a major part of the game. You cannot play this game and not go there because a lot of the story takes place there.
Okay.
There's a scene in the movie where they go into a bar. That is Afterlife. 100%. Every single thing about this, down to the fact that each table has these little hologram projectors with women dancing.
Oh, sure.
Or people
the
boxing
Yakuza
each
bar
other.
that they go into?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the boxing shit is in Cyberpunk. It is crazy to me how much of this movie has just been lifted and injected into this game.
Given a new skin.
It's I mean, it's different enough.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's inspired by it. After watching this movie and playing Cyberpunk, it just feels plagiarized. I'm sorry. I still love Cyberpunk.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but Jesus Christ.
Did it make the game less cool to you?
No, I mean.
Okay, good.
It gave me that environment to move around in, basically.
Okay.
So I don't hate it, but the cars, the way the cars look.
You kept talking about Takeshi's car and how, because what we both said at one point, his car, you were like, that looks like my favorite Hot Wheel. I was like, I had a Hot Wheel that looked just like that.
Yeah, I had that Hot Wheel when I was a kid. No, I would absolutely drive any
you
of those
would.
cars
You
today.
absolutely would. I would not. It's not my jam, but you love the 80s, cyberpunk aesthetic thing. But yeah, I don't, just this world was, I think they put so much love and care into this when they didn't necessarily have to, especially given some other live action adaptations that we've seen. And
especially, anime adaptations.
That's what I mean. It's kind of a known thing that they're usually not very good. But there are exceptions to the rule. And I genuinely think that you could tell, at least to my mind, because I've seen so much crap when it comes to live action adaptations of anime.
Right.
People cared about this property when they made the movie.
Sure. And
you can tell.
What I really like about the live action film is that it does something that the animated film didn't, which is give more of a reason for the puppet master to want to merge, or even give a shit that Major
Oh
exists.
yeah. No, all of that was super cool. And plus it makes sense. It totally makes sense. The whole multiple failures before she's the first
and showing how her creators
Yes.
were lying to her.
Right.
And making her believe things. That's kind of the false memory aspect of this adaptation, or this version of Ghost in the Shell. I think it works very well. Should we say what it is?
Well, we might as well.
So
Spoilers?
the puppet master
I don't know.
in the original, he's just a rogue AI that wants to merge with Major to create a higher being.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the live action film, they were both humans that knew each other.
Yeah.
That were stolen by this government entity and turned into weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And
experimented on.
He's the prototype.
Yeah.
She's the follow-up.
Well, yeah, there were 98. There were 98 versions that didn't work in one way or another. And they had all run away because they were anti-technology, and they kind of became this underground thing at the edge of town, and were fighting against the use of so much technology, and they were stolen, and their ghosts were stripped from them, and they were experimented on and tried to turn into weapons. And as with anything new and experimental, there were failures in a million different ways, or at least 98. And Major is the first one. She was given false memories. And, a false sense of what happened. And she was told, and was also told, anything that appeared other was just a glitch. Here, we'll erase it. You don't have to deal with that. And it's a very brief thing, but I did want to bring up right before, like, because there's a point in which they plan on deleting her, killing her, right? Like, oh, she knows too much. We'll start again. There is a throwaway line of, I don't remember the guy's name. He's talking to Dr. Ulay, who's her like creator, mentor, therapist. She does the right thing in the end, but that's Juliette Binoche. But there's a throwaway line. He's like, just delete her. You've done it before. It'll be fine. Like, it's just that foomp. So then that brings the question of, so she's been deleted before.
Right.
How many times? When, like, it does speak to the Ghost in the Machine, which goes to Ghost in the Shell. Like, there is this intrinsic truth of, like, who and what you really are will come to the surface no matter how much they try to bury it. Like, that type of thing. Yeah. And I think it's beautiful. You know, she eventually finds her mother. Yep. And, you know, and I love that at the very end, after everything, she goes to visit her own grave and they don't actually say it. She never says, I'm your daughter, but the mother is there. And she just says, you don't have to come here anymore. And the mother's like, I know. And they hug and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. I like that.
The live action adaptation, I think, injected more humanity than the animated film did.
But
because it, you know, obviously because in the live action version, she was a human.
Right.
Whereas...
Well, I mean, initially she would have had to been human in the anime and manga as well, because it's a human brain. She had to come from somewhere.
Well,
it's a human brain.
What I'm saying is, like, with
more of that humanity.
The animated film, she starts off as a cyborg, she ends as a cyborg. Whatever. I feel like the live action version gives her more humanity,
more of a backstory. Well, yeah, no, that's true. And I do want to point it out that she doesn't. It's not like she destroys the rogue AI in this one. She was I mean, he ends up being killed, but she was saving him. You know, she chose him.
Yeah.
She was totally going to like leave all of that and go, you know what? This is my reality. Yes. And it just happened that he didn't make it.
I want to give this movie huge props for, you know, the fight scene with the civilian that runs off and the garbage truck.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Driver. That scene was done really well in live action.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
I understand there was a lot of like stunt work and wire work and things like that and a little bit of CG.
Well, because she's got her...
But holy hell, did that look good.
And there's a lot of... Because we watched this back to back, like, you know, the first night we watched the anime movie and the second night we watched the live action, there are specific scenes, like the way his arms twisted up and then even to the point when she like vaults over him because she's invisible in this.
The way the water
moves. Yes, it's exactly like that is such an homage to the movie. Like and that.
When you're doing something like this, especially since like, you know, Major's invisible while she's fighting him. Mm-hmm. In live action, this type of thing tends to really irritate the shit out of me. And I thought it was incredible.
It was done very well.
Yeah. It was one of the biggest takeaways from the movie for me, besides, you know, obviously the fight with, you know, the spider tank.
Yeah, which was great.
Which was done well, except for one, but there's one part.
When she's trying to...
When she's running up a bunch of rubble.
Parkouring up.
And it's very clear that is computer generated.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, it looked that's the only part of this movie that I saw that I was like, man, that was awful.
In mostly shadow as well, but we have eagle eye for that type of thing. But
other than that, man, like if you hear people talking shit about the live action movie, just don't buy into the hype.
Just go watch it and then form your own opinion.
I think they just don't like the fact that it exists.
I liked it.
For whatever reason.
You know,
it could be they don't like that it exists because it's an adaptation of a manga that they love, or an adaptation of an animated film that they love, or the fact that Scarlett Johansson was cast in it. Whatever the case may be, don't listen to the haters. Watch it.
But the thing is, again, this is almost entirely an American point of view.
Yeah.
These supposed issues.
It's streaming on Paramount Plus, by the way.
Yeah. So. And it's really, really enjoyable. I highly recommend it. And then also go watch Takeshi's Castle.
Yeah, definitely watch that.
Dude, I was so tickled when he was in there.
At the end of the day, like Ghost in the Shell, like aside from what it means to me, it clearly it had an impact on
Sure.
culture in a big way, especially in the West, which they were not expecting. They were expecting this thing to be huge in the East
Mhm.
and just kind of piddle out over here.
Probably like Akira.
Yeah, yeah. But the lasting impression of Ghost in the Shell, like its legacy really is its influence. Like we are still being influenced by it today. It's more relevant today than it was back then.
It's genuinely creepy to me how you were talking about the Neuralink things, and then we watched this. Like,
Just watch any one of these. Watch them both, definitely. But like, if you're gonna watch,
and in
any of them-
return, we will go watch the standalone complex.
yeah, I might do a follow up to this, and it'll have to be next season because we're wrapping things up here. But like, yeah, I wouldn't mind watching the standalone complex and then doing like a.
I need to see what it is that
episode.
Christopher Sabat is in, his voice actor, because I know he's attached to the franchise.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Well, do you
He's
have
Zorro
any
in
final
One Piece.
thoughts on Ghost in the Shell?
She did not need to have nipples.
Yeah, I think we
And
established
I
that.
think this is a very important story to let sink in and have actual thought by yourself about. I mean, conversation is all well and good. We wouldn't have a podcast without it. But I think because you can't get more personal than your soul, right? That you cannot get more singular individual than that. And so I think for all that this invites deep discussion, have a conversation with yourself about this. And I think it's important to just kind of revisit yourself and check in with yourself and say, if this was the case, what would I do? How would I think? How do I feel about this? Because, I'm not saying that human brains in cyborg bodies is going to be released next year, but I don't know that it won't eventually, right? And
we will see it in our lifetime.
I think that it's a genuine conversation to at least to start to have with yourself as to what does it mean to be an individual? What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be a person? And where does that end? What percentage? Is it a percentage of your body that counts? Is it freedom over your thoughts? Because that all of that may be at risk as well. Not to sound like conspiracy theory, whatever, but you need to be aware of these things. And I really think you need to check in with yourself and be aware and think. And then talk to other people and get their insight. Because that's part of the beauty of what makes us human is we can come to our own conclusions, but then talk with others. And then maybe they have thoughts that we hadn't thought of. And so then you go back and revisit. I think it's a really important, integral thing to have with yourself and those you care about. And it's just interesting to think about. Yep. And also, she didn't need nipples.
Yeah. What is humanity? What is technology? How far should we be going? Merging the two? And yeah, it's kind of scary and dystopian
side
to think,
effects or consequences built into things like, I don't know, cybernetic eyes or cybernetic whatevers.
Like it or not,
hijack your thoughts.
There's always going to be those of us who reject it wholly.
Hi, it's me. I
There's
reject it wholeheartedly.
There's always be those of us that embrace it wholly.
Yeah.
And, in
I'm
the future,
end
we
up
may
in
be
the underground.
we may be fighting battles over people who are cyborgs and who are not. And
Skynet can F right off. That's No, thank you.
All right, well.
This was beautiful, though.
Yeah. I guess we can call that
and
an
gross.
episode. Jess, where can people find you?
I'm Jess Moon. I have a publishing house, you guys. I don't know if you know. It's called Shadow Spark Publishing. You can find us on all the social media avenues at Shadow Spark Pub. I do have like an Instagram and a Twitter. I'm at _Jess Moon on Instagram and at JHL Moon on Twitter. No guarantees as to when or where I will actually be on there. I'm not super involved with social media on purpose. So, but yeah, no, I can be found.
Right on. Yeah. You can find me on Instagram at Deadbeat Chad. You can follow the podcast on Instagram as well at the Pretty Little Podcast. We have the YouTube channel. If you want to listen to episodes there, go to youtube.com/ at the Pretty Little Podcast 69420. Thank you to everyone who downloads, who listens, who interacts with us. We are wrapping up season 3.
Yeah, 2 more eps.
2 more episodes. We have a topic for our next episode, and then we're going to do a recap and then give you guys kind of like insight on the future of the Pretty Little Podcast.
Which is exciting,
And
by
then
the
we're
way.
going to take our happy asses on vacation.
Hell, oh my God, I can't wait. Get me
But,
on that boat. It's cruise time,
Yeah,
baby.
we do have news coming up that we're going to be
Good, exciting
unveiling to you
news.
guys. Good, exciting news
Yeah.
for the channel. So thanks again. But
Mwah.
until we see you again, stay pretty.